Listen, wanted to bring you new information on what's going on in the Jamie Foxx incident. Now, if you guys haven't heard, there was this whole guy that came out that said that Jamie is, and I quote, okay, in the hospital, partially paralyzed and blind. And by hospital, we could be referring to a treatment center, a rehab center. That's not the issue. We're going to talk about that. But also, there's something that no one's talking about that I want to discuss with y'all. Even though everybody's coming out with these reports being like, that's outlandish, that's crazy, oh my God, how can you believe this? A lot of mainstream outlets are kind of poo-pooing on the idea. I think it's interesting that the one person that was the first person to run out and be like, yo, my man Jamie is good, we Gucci, Nick Cannon, is now backtracking on anything he's had to say with Jamie Foxx, even going as far to say that he actually didn't talk to Jamie Foxx. Now, if you guys remember in the beginning, Nick was one of the first people to come out, said he talked to Jamie Foxx, said that was his man, blah, 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 blah. He gave him his blessing, said he was doing great. Nick actually backpedaled and did backflip. Now he's actually admitting he never even talked to Jamie Foxx. He doesn't know what's going on, and he just did what he was told. Now, listen. Whatever's going on with Jamie Foxx, I think it's safe to say that he is in some type of condition that is not allowing him to actually come out in public and be seen. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he's not ready. The way there's so many rumors going on, the way things are being cast, the way his friends are praying for a miracle, the way the family is acting, I think that we can all say that whatever's going on with Jamie, even if he is stable, whatever's going on is not going to be resolved anytime soon, okay? Let's get into what they said about it was a, I don't want to get demonetized. You know the way YouTube do. It was a, oh, you know what I'm saying? That, right? That actually got him like this. Now, let me just say this, right? And this before this guy says anything. Know how they link one thing to another. Just listen. I know some of y'all gonna be in the comments like, girl, read the data. Okay, but even if you don't believe, let's just play devil's advocate. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, just hear me out. For one, let's just say it was that, right? And that is what the direct link was to him getting sick, having this complication, which, like we first reported, and a lot of y'all, including corny dates, drinking smoothie nurses, right? A lot of y'all were like, "Ooh, what you got to say? He posted on Instagram. He healthy. You start a mess." I do want to point out that I was one of the first people that actually said, yo, people are saying that he has a brain aneurysm. He suffered some sort of stroke, and that's what's going on. That has proven to be true. Okay. Now, this link that this guy's saying that that's a direct link between the sickness, let's just say it was. How can you medically prove that? I'm being serious because he got it a while ago. So how can you medically prove that? I think what is more likely to be, and this is my opinion, all right? Please respectfully disagree in the comments if you don't agree with me, right? Or tell me where that might be overlooking. You know, I'm always looking for alternate points of view, especially if your view might be right or make sense. So just be respectful about it, right? Does everybody not think it might more be likely that he actually got the C word and complications from that is what led to this? Because a lot of people have been getting the C word. And if you guys don't know, it's inflammation. It increases your blood pressure, your heart rate, all this stuff. And a lot of people that we thought were healthy for whatever reason succumbed, passed away, or got serious complications because your heart rate is already elevated, your blood pressure is already elevated. He was in a high pressure situation with that movie. He thought people were robbing him. He thought his life was in danger. He's directing, he's doing all this. And if the rumors can be believed that he was into recreational things, that also is. I'm saying that this guy that's on, I actually do think, I can't say, it sounds like he's putting 20 on 10 about why he is, but yet and still, sometimes you got to swallow the meat and spit out the fat. He is going with what a lot of people that are close to Jamie are saying, that there is something he's not up. Anyway, let me get into the story and let me see you how Nick Cannon, again, when I heard this guy, I said, I feel like he's putting 20 on 10. How can you make a direct link between that and that? Because it could have been the C word and that, right? People keep forgetting the C word can get you there too. He could have actually caught a case and that's what got him there. But I rolled my eyes, and that's why I really didn't report it on it first, because, you know, people be saying stuff. However, when Nick Cannon backtracked, that's when I said, so wait, maybe this is closer to the truth or not, because now why is Nick Cannon the number one person saying he was up, talking, communicating, doing all this stuff, gave me his blessing. Now you said you never even talked to him. He said he never even talked to him. I haven't seen him, but he knows that he did what he was supposed to do and got the blessing. Okay, fine. Let me get into the story, right? They said in a shocking development, reports suggest Jamie Foxx is partially paralyzed and blind after complications, right? They said a sense of concern has taken over the fans as news reports suggest that Jamie's mysterious medical condition has left him partially paralyzed and blind. Now, while the family always called it a medical complication, and again, it could be a complication to that, could be a complication to actually catching a case of the C's, right? Let me know if you've heard any other information, because you know I'll be in the comments reading stuff, right? But they said the actor is recuperating and no other health details are provided by the public. Now, contrary to his family's updates, OK Magazine quoted Hollywood journalist AJ Benza, who got in touch with a source close to Jamie, saying the superstar suffered a series of other complications after getting his, right? It was on Dr. Drew. Remember Dr. Drew was on Teen Mom? What happened to him? Or was he always a mess? Because Dr. Drew, I'm not talking about this interview, but he's been doing some questionable stuff. And I used to look at him as an authority on life when he was hosting Teen Mom. Little do we know he was probably, anyway, Benza revealed that Jamie got a blood clot in his brain. He said Jamie had a blood clot in his brain. Again, remember when I said, my sources told me, and this one, it was a hemorrhagical stroke, which is when you get a blood clot, aneurysm, whatnot. He said he had a blood clot in his brain after he got that. He did not want that, but in the movie he was in, he got pressured to get that. The blood clot in the brain caused him at that point to be partially paralyzed and blind. He insisted his source was someone in the room who had firsthand knowledge of Jamie's hospitalization. I know it's not Jamie's family. So is this one of the medical workers? And if it is, now we are getting into HIPAA violations. If you guys don't know, a few people were in the comments being like, this is a HIPAA violation. And I just want everybody to know for their own information, right? HIPAA is when a licensed medical professional, and I think every medical professional has to be licensed, but it is when a licensed practicing medical professional or any licensed medical professional releases confidential information, so anything in your medical file, to members of the public or other medical professionals that do not have a direct thing of knowledge. That's a HIPAA violation. You feel what I'm saying? Now that this guy is saying, see, direct knowledge from someone in the room, assuming it's not Jamie's family, but if it is a medical professional, then that person is in violation of HIPAA. They should be fired. They should be sued. You can't just be leaking people's medical information. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. Anyway, right? Okay. In photographs obtained by Entertainment Magazine, TMZ, Corinne was seen visiting Jamie with Jamie's close friend, Dave Brown. TMZ also reported that Foxx was getting round-the-clock treatment, not care, but treatment. Okay. He had a show coming up, but Corinne, as you guys know, I have my doubts about that show because she said it's coming out in 2024. No network announces a show a year and a half before it's coming out. And she said it would be filmed in 2024. That means that it would be coming out sometime in 2025 because they don't just film shows and put them out next week. It's not YouTube. That means that you announced that he was coming back to TV a year and a half later, but all his recent stuff he's being replaced on. I said, girl, I get it. It's your daddy. I understand why Corinne did it. You're trying to protect your daddy. You're doing what you need to do, but I do believe at this point that Corinne is a pawn for Jamie's people, because Jamie's people don't care if Corinne loses credibility. Jamie's people don't care. All they care about is the fact that their paychecks are protected, and their paychecks are protected but from Jamie's next projects, okay? Now, why do I think that when I read this and I was like, yo, this guy's putting 20 on 10, maybe, because people be lying. Just like the video of Jamie Foxx in Miami Beach has been circulating. But meanwhile, that video that they said, oh my God, Jamie Foxx was just spotted in Miami, that video was actually from January. So it's an old video that people are trying to put out to prove that Jamie's out, but he doesn't want the public to see. Why would that be? Anyway, so what made me think like, yo, there might be something to what this guy's saying. No, he might have as a cause being wrong, but there's like wide strokes to this. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, Nick Cannon backtracks on everything he said. Nick said, I was actually, because people actually reached out to him. I think it was the Daily Mail or whatever. It was like, yo, like, what do you have to say about Jamie Foxx being paralyzed and blind? Because you're the last person to talk to him, and you said he was cool. So who's lying? Nick said this. I was actually working on something else, and they say, Jamie wants you to do this. Now, in the first reports, Nick led us to believe that Jamie had directly contacted him. So already I'm like, so you're backtracking the fact that you even talked to Jamie now that's about to be exposed, that Jamie might not even be able to verbalize. He might communicate, but let's not forget, communication can be like pop, drop, and lock, and it can be sign language. It can just be like a nod or a blink. Communicating is making any gesture, sound, or movement, or anything that might convey what your true feelings are. Doesn't mean talking. There's more. He said, I was actually working on something else, and they say, Jamie wants you to do this. And I was like, I'll do anything for Jamie. But last time when we talked, you told us that you talked to Jamie directly, right? Then he said, I got the blessing from him and Corinne. But how did you get the blessing from him and Corinne when last time it was a different story? And now you're saying Corinne? Well, before you said Jamie himself gave you this blessing, but how did they say Jamie wants you to do this? He said that he praised Jamie's professionalism and described him as someone who is extremely private. He said, one thing I've always respected about how Jamie's moved throughout his career, if you notice, he's always been somebody who's extremely professional and extremely private. Backtrack him. I mean, you don't ever really hear anything other than just the great work that he puts forth as a professional, and the fact that, you know, he's handled the situation with the same manner. You can only respect that. He said when it came to Jamie's health, Nick said he had no information to offer, adding he's not asking questions about the superstar. He said, we understand that he had a stroke. Well, the people asked him, hey, we understand that he had a stroke and that he's recovering, but you know, it's been sort of confusing. Are you comfortable giving any update on how he's doing? Do you know? This is what Billy Bush asked him. You know who Billy Bush is. He said, I'm probably in the same boat as you in that same sense of just knowing that, you know, as a friend, just being as respectful as I can. I don't pry. I don't ask any other questions. And other than the information that's given to me, and you know what's asked of me, he literally admitted he has not talked to Jamie. Jamie's people gave it to him. And Jamie's people said, yeah, you got Jamie and Corinne's blessing. He's not even copying down the talking to Corinne. He said, and I think in this scenario, what I've always said is just like, hey, I'm here for you. Whatever you would like me to say, whatever you would like me to do, I can be a mouthpiece. And I think they said, we got it. Again, Jamie's people said that. Cannon said Jamie's family are releasing the information that they want to be out there. He said, I was definitely one of those people initially with like the heavy-handed prayers, sending positive energy, love, and prayers. And they were like, yo, we appreciate all that, but we got it. And you know, Jamie's happy with the job I did on Beats Shazam. I believe when he's ready, he's going to address the waiting fans of the world the only way he can. You guys, look how when this guy said, and again, when I first heard the report, I was like, who is this guy putting 20 on 10? Like, how do we know? But now Nick Cannon is backtracking. Everything he told us when this first happened, he talked to Jamie. He's doing good, this and that. Jamie asked me. Now it's like, well, I don't know. I just do what's asked of me. Jamie's people, but I'm sure. And I told the family, y'all can come out there and speak and be a mouthpiece. And Jamie's people was like, yo, we got it. Y'all, listen. Whatever's going on with Jamie, his daughter said he's playing pickleball. Corinne wouldn't lie. Again, pickleball can be part of recovery. At this point, I hope Jamie does fully recover and come back to who he is. But yo, it's funny. It's funny how people are scrambling. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.